So we are going to start at the moment with ground plan part 2, and we're going to be combining objects and properly placing them. So this is a pretty easy, short concept that I don't think you're going to have to watch this video several times, but what I do think is that I'm going to include a little bit more information in here than your general video where you're just following the steps. So we're going to start with the ground plan chart, and this time I'm going to select this first top layer of the platform. I'm going to right click and I hit hide. Now I currently have view hidden geometry on, so I can still see that piece as if it were a kind of transparent looking item. So I'm going to hit that button and it's going to disappear entirely. This way I can see the ground plan shapes and all the shapes that we've already created. So I'm going to go ahead and go File, Save, and then File, Open. And I'm going to go to the files that I have saved for this class, and I'm going to go ahead and open all the things we've already done and import them into this file. So I'm going to click on Bookcase, Open, and in order to open another file, SketchUp will close your current file. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. Don't ask me to share models anymore, because really I don't need to be having that pop up every time I close something here, and I'm going to click Maybe Later. So now I'm going to take the selection tool and I'm going to select the entire bookcase, and I'm going to edit, cut, or copy. I'm going to go ahead and copy, and then I'm going to go File, Open, Ground Plan 2, the one I'm working in, and it's going to pop open, and now I'm going to hit Edit, Paste. Ta-da! I'm going to place this right on the edge of the ground plan where I want it. I want it in this spot right here. And then I'm going to use the rotate tool. I'm actually, before I let go of this, this is not a component. So while I still have all of this surface selected, I'm going to right click and say Make a Component. I'm going to make sure it says Glue to None. Somehow, while playing around, it got Choose to Any instead of None, which defeats the purpose of it being a component. And I also want to say Replace Selected with Component and hit Create. So now you see that it changed. Instead of selecting edges and surfaces, I'm only selecting the actual component. So now, and it's got a whole boundary box for the component, okay? So grab your Rotate tool, and the Rotate tool, remember, the first place that you click, you need to select the object first and then select your rotate tool. And the first place that you click is the center point at which it rotates on. So if I click way out here, and my next point is the handle that I'm grabbing. If I click way over here, it's going to rotate around that point. And if I click anywhere on the object or off the object, that's the handle point at which I'm moving it with. So you see how I'm moving it by this, about a foot in front of it, and I'm moving it around this random point over here, okay? I know that was a little fast flashing, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. I hit the Escape key, and I'm going to center my Rotate tool on this corner, because I set it right down on that corner, and I'm going to center that Rotate tool there, and I want to swing this corner right here. So I'm going to grab that corner as my rotate point, and then I'm going to move my mouse to the point where I want it to be. Now I can also have my center point here and grab anywhere else and just rotate it until it meets the right point. The handle is not as important as the center rotation point, or where the axis at which it rotates. That center point is really important. And if you grab, the other thing that's really important is making sure that your compass is the right color. If you notice, when I first put something in, I'm gonna hit Control V again because my bookcase is still in my hand. But when I put it down, you notice how this is no longer a component. I'm gonna undo that, and I'm gonna grab this component, copy and paste it, and now it's still a component. You see that difference? So now I'm gonna pick this up by the corner, and when I set it down, I'm gonna make really sure that I'm placing it right next to this other wall. I want them to be touching, and I want them to be very closely related to each other. So this time when I grab the rotate tool, you see how I might have a hard time getting on that corner while it's still, without it turning into this black rotate tool, which by the way, the black means that it's something other than blue, red, or green. It doesn't know what it is, and it doesn't have a unique color for everything. Everything else is just black. So what I can do is I can come out here, and when it's in the middle of nowhere, I'm gonna hold the shift key, and now it won't change. It will always be blue. So now I'm gonna hit my center point here, again making sure that I'm clicking that on the actual corner. And I'm gonna grab somewhere over here, it doesn't really matter, and swing it into place. There we go. So now my two bookshelves are in place, and they're components, and they're really happy. And I wanna make sure that all of my components are components, that they're all the way components. They're not halfway components, they're all the way components in and of themselves, and each wall is its own component, is its own happy-go-lucky component. So again, I'm gonna hit save, and I wanna show you right here, File, Save, Control S. That's a very happy one. Edit, Copy, Control C, Paste, Control V. So now I'm gonna go File, Open. Let's go ahead and add, first was the bookcase and then was the stairs. So let's add the stairs, Open. I did not finish my stairs on this computer. Do I have another file? There we go. Open. There we go. That's the right one. So I'm going to go to the selection tool. I'm going to select everything, and this time I'm going to make it a component here. Make component, glue to none, replace with selection, create. Control C. File, open. Ground plane 2, open. No. I don't really need to save it as a component. I mean, I changed it, I could save it, it's not a big deal, but I don't really need to. So now I'm going to make sure I'm setting it on the surface. And I know I'm setting this on the surface because one, it says on face in image, but another one is because that little dot, the inferencing dot under my mouse, is purple. And that bright pink purple color means that it's on that setting. It's on that face, that object. See? Not on the face, on the face, not on the face, on the face. Very happy. So I'm going to make sure my staircase is in the right place, because it looked like I had put it in the right place, but I want to make sure by hovering over it and just making sure I get it. So my stairs are in place. File, Save, File, Open. And also I want to say that your shortcut for opening is Control O. So what's the next thing we built? The next thing we built was the doorway. Open. And that guy looks like this. I'm gonna go Selection Tool, Select All, right click, Component, Create. Now I'm gonna start getting faster, okay? Control C, Control O, Ground Plane 2, Open. No, I don't want to save the changes. You can save them if you want to, that's fine. Control V, Shift, Move. I'm gonna place it right here in this corner. Rotate tool. Whoop, that's the rectangle tool. Shift, click in the corner, click a handle, swing it. There we go. Control O. And all right, so the next one is the archway. So we're gonna grab that and open, and make sure that if this happens, if I forgot to hit Control S like I just did, and you hit save, that you go ahead and hit yes, so that it does save your progress and you're not stuck without it saving your progress. So now I have the arch. Again, I'm going to grab it, grab all of it, make it a component, create, Control, open, Control C for copy, Control O for open, ground plan 2, open. No need to save that. Control V. And I'm gonna drop it right here. And I'm gonna grab the rotate tool. I'm gonna move it around. And this time you see how it's green right here and it's red right here. This might be one of those cases, again, you can either be very careful, and I tend to move my mouse out here and just hover it over the blue for a little while, and then when I grab the endpoint, SketchUp kind of says, oh, you've been looking at blue for a while, I think you want it to be blue. But it doesn't always do it exactly. I'm going to grab a close angle and swing it until it matches the floor footprint. but sometimes over long distances, it can get a little bit off. Also, our floor does not look like quite the right size, and that might pose a problem later. I'm gonna leave it for now and see if we're gonna need to fix it later, but it's pretty small, so it might just be a discrepancy in a small placement right here. It's off by maybe a maximum of 3 inches, and I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. So that's that one. Control O. Let's open, we did the archway fireplace. French doors first. Open. Yes. Again, select all. Control C. I think this is already a component, but I'm going to make it a component anyway. Control C, file, open, ground plan 2, open. Paste with Control V. And this is another one that I have to connect. So I want to set it down somewhere over here, and then I want to, even though this isn't a component, I can still grab very specific pieces of the wall, and I'm going to grab that corner right there, place that corner right there, right on that corner there. That way these two walls are meeting at exactly the right spot. And when I grab my rotate tool, I want to make sure that I'm grabbing exactly that spot from my center point and moving this into the right space. It is very important that those two walls touch in exactly the right spot. Yeah, we're a little small. Since we're a little small right here, there are two things I can do. I can pick up all these things and move them back just a tad, or I can move this wall so that this edge is still on the platform. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab this edge, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to rotate back until that wall just touches there. And when I build this wall, I'm going to build it a little different than the way it looks in the wall. It's going to be a little smaller in order to fit in this space. One more to go. File, open, fireplace, okay, yes, spacebar, select all, make a component, create, copy, file, open, ground plan 2, open, yes, just for kicks. I said yes that time. Also, I'm just a yes person. I'm going to place that in here. Make sure to grab this downstage edge, put it on that downstage edge, grab the rotate tool, hold the shift here, click on that corner, click on a handle, and swing it back. And it's going to go right there. Now once again, remember I said that there was an issue with this being kind of sort of the wrong size, because we didn't size this bottom part quite correctly. Whatever we chose to be 4 feet wasn't exactly right. So this is pushing into the step. So we have two options. We can either push this wall smaller, we can let them intersect, and we will do that for now, but we could also change the rotation of this wall if we wanted to solve that problem now to something like that. I'm going to leave that where it is for now. Okay, so now we have all those, and we have a bunch of other walls that we haven't built yet. We have 2 over here, a third one right here, we have a bunch up here, and some big ones back here. I'm going to do that in your next video, and I'm going to call that building all the other walls. And it's actually not that hard, which is why I'm going to put them all in one video. Alrighty, see you then.